is our mind and our attitude. That this sense of entitlement that we have to kind of, again, going back to this word, self-govern ourselves. One of the first things that have to die is personal rights. Personal rights. I can sleep with them. I can sleep with her. I can sleep with him. I can pop this. I can drink this. I can smoke this. I can go here. I can do this. That mindset has to die. And then, we have to take those things to the cross. Number 5. He says, follow me. After all that, after all that, he says, follow me. He makes a condition, says, then he says, anyone, that means everybody, no exceptions to these conditions. You got to deny yourself. You got to take up your cross daily. And now get behind me and follow me in a sincere way. He's not talking about this casual following that many of us have taken on and many of us have accepted or been duped. Y'all hear me? Many of us have been duped. Let me tell you why many times. And it's a subtle deception. Because one of the things that Paul told the church not to do is to judge yourself among yourselves. So there's this notion sometimes that when you're in a body and you look around and you see what everyone else is doing and you see their level of spirituality and you kind of judge your spirituality based on theirs. So you kind of get this notion that, hey, I'm all right. I laugh at the same stuff Tony laugh at, watch the same stuff Tony watch. I must be cool. I must be all right. I'm not much different than Roy. I'm not much different than Valerie or Blue. And what's happened is all this decision, all of us are on a broad road. Because none of us have made a choice to independently follow him. In a real way. Let's look at this. Go down to verse 57. Now that we've broken down Christ's sobering and radical invitation to follow him, we're going to take a look at 3 people in Luke chapter 9 that tried to negotiate the terms to follow him and just be a fan. Now, after Jesus says all this, right? He's talking, man, he said, if he qualified anybody. He didn't say tax collectors had an exception. He didn't say, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, they had an exception. He said, if anyone. So, down in the verse, we got these 3 characters. It says, everybody at verse 57? Mm-hmm. Now it happened as they journeyed on the road that someone said to him, Lord, I will follow you wherever you go. Oh, really? Oh, really? He said, I will follow you wherever you go. And this is Jesus' reply. Jesus said to him, foxes have holes and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. What are you saying? I'm homeless, bro. I'm homeless, what he's saying to him is he's letting him know that this is not a ride or a ride of comfort. This is not some type of, don't come have this notion that following me, because see, there are many at that time, because, Israel knew of this Messiah. And so in their minds, they thought Jesus was going to come take over. They thought Jesus was going to, go, take them from under and get their necks from under the foot of the Romans. But he wasn't coming to do that. His mission was just something totally different. So he had to tell this guy, look, man, look, even the foxes got some holes to go into. The birds got nests, but man, I ain't got nowhere to go. You sure you will go anywhere? Because guess where I'm going? I'm going to the cross. He says, I'll go anywhere. I'll go wherever you go. Verse 59. It says, then he said to another, follow me. But this one said, Lord, let me first go and bury my father. Verse 60, Jesus said to him, let the dead bury their own dead, but you go and preach the kingdom of God. Let me just ask you this. When are we going to get off our excuses to do what God has called us to do? He saw something in this man that said, man, you're supposed to be preaching the gospel. You're supposed to be leading folk. And you out here on the road. And now you're talking about you got to go take care of this over here. Let me just ask you a question. What does it have to take to get our spiritual priorities in order? What does it take to look at our surroundings, okay? To look at, our neighborhoods and look at our loved ones and look at all the things, all the people that don't have Christ. And you got an assignment. Know you've been called. But let me go do this first, God. I know you called me to do this. I know you've given me assignment. I know that, but let me go over here and just take care of this first. I'm going to follow you. I'll get to that, God. He says, let the dead bury their own dead, man. And we got another one. This one is a good one. Verse 61. And another also said, Lord, I will follow you. But, do you notice all of them have but? All of them have but. Lord, I will follow you, but first, let me go bid farewell who are at my house. This is a person that's not finished with the world. Let me go get high one more time, God. I'm going to follow you. Okay, just one more drink. Okay, let me just go out here, man, sow my Royal Oats. Let me go sow my Royal Oats like Coming to America. Let me go out here and do this, God. I'm going to follow you. Let me just go hang with my friends just one more time. I'm going to get to following you. I'm going to get to it, God. You know what, God? I'll catch up with you. Let me just ask this. when you read this, when you read these excuses, when you see these buts, how do you see, what are some of your own excuses? What are some of our own excuses for, what have you told God? I started this tonight by saying, answering the question, whether you are a fan or a follower of Christ, is the ultimate question. There is no other question that is more important. There's no other question, I said, that you can answer or refuse not to answer than this question. Everybody stand.